bathandi bempilo, welcome to the Purple Couch. My name is Sandile Pagoy. Did you know that love life has the potential to really change the experience of the youth in this country? We believe each person is born with the potential to succeed, to be anything that they want to be, provided that they have the support and encouragement to do so. And today's topics touch on how we amplify the voices of those that have been victims of gender-based violence, as well as those that have been perpetrators, tying that together with the conversation of contraceptives. I hope you have been catching up on some of our content on our YouTube channel lately, because we are about to bring you more intriguing and insightful content today. Without wasting any more of your time, as you know, we have to thank the National Department of Health together with the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture for always being behind Love Life and the work that we do. The Purple Couch wouldn't be here if it was not for them. Gender-based violence is violence directed at any individual based on his or her biological sex or gender identity. It includes physical, sexual, verbal, emotional, psychological abuse, threats, and the coercion, whether it happening private or in the public life. South Africa has had so many cases of gender-based violence. I believe we are so overdue for change. What do you think? Check out this following clip and let's engage about the actions that need to be taken. Hit me up in the comment section.
Yeah, and so my thing is about gender-based violence is to bring in the men. That's always been my main message, because people will ask women, what do you think we should do to fight this? And I'm like, why are you asking me? You know, I'm not the perpetrator in most of the instances, right. So why don't we call out on the people that are? And so
I believe that educating yourself and others about gender-based violence is important. The first line of prevention is education, as well as using your voice in social media to bring more GBV awareness. Whilst we are still on this topic of gender-based violence, we know the Purple Couch has compelling guests that are ready to come in and help us understand these topics a bit better. Well, today is no different. As you know, this episode is all about getting young people involved in conversations that touch on gender-based violence. As a young person yourself, we need to get to know your stance in the matter. I have an inspiring guest today that I hope you will learn from, Siyabulela Jentile, who is the founder of the Not In My Name movement. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, Siya, you are a multi-award-winning youth leader. Love Life would like to say big ups to you for the work that you are doing as a social activator, author, and social entrepreneur. Welcome to the Purple Couch right here on our YouTube channel.
Awesome. Thank you again for the invitation and, just spending some time with me today.
Yeah, now I'm going to just dive straight into the Not In My Name international civil rights movement that you have started.
Sure.
What was the inspiration behind starting such an initiative?
Sure, thanks. So with the Not In My Name movement, which by the way started as a campaign, at the time I was still, a full-time civil engineering technician. So that is the space I come from. This was just over 3.5 years ago or so. The campaign at that time was influenced or inspired by the gruesome murder of the young lady called Karabo Mokoena in Soweto. I felt compelled to do something as a young person in South Africa today, as opposed to just sitting down and tweeting. I needed to take part in the conversation. And then I said, you know what, as a man, I need to take collective, I need to call other men to take collective responsibility and stand up against gender-based violence and just social injustices in general. I initiated and convened a mass demonstration in Pretoria, which was co-organized with two of my friends. We then, after that, I said to them, you know what, we need to find a way to sustain the campaign. Because in South Africa, what happens is that campaigns start and then they end. You know, when people start talking about a certain issue, then suddenly everyone is vocal, we create hashtags, and then after a few weeks or few days, they die down. I mean, just now, it's 16 days of activism. It's another campaign. Everyone is going to jump into it. From the 11th of December, everyone, you know, not everyone, but most people are going to be. So I then said, no, you know what, we needed to sustain this campaign. Let us create a movement. Let us start an organization that will be registered with all the relevant, you know, structures in the country. And then we did that. You know, we structured it properly. There was proper leadership in place. We had a fully functional organization to sustain the Not In My Name campaign, which is now a movement or an organization, which has, by the way, grown you know, outside the borders of South Africa. But the main inspiration was the death of Karabo Mokoena, and then I thought that I needed to do something. And then from there, you know, I started being in the space. I understood the depth of the problem, and then I wanted to learn some more and unlearn some of my own you know, toxic traits and biases and some of my own behaviors, and I'm still working on it, by the way.
Yeah, and shout out to you for that fact, and may her soul rest in peace to Karabo Mokoena. And now to just add on what you have mentioned, the movement itself is also about encouraging the ordinary South African out there to have some source of activism within themselves. Like, what would you say are the tools that can be provided to young people in today's day and age for them so that they can be able to be activists themselves?
You see, the most interesting part with activism is that it starts with conviction. You need to be convicted to do, you know, something. You need to feel a very strong passion towards a certain, whether it's an injustice. You know, you need to, it's not something that you can just tell someone, you know, you need to be an activist on this issue. It's something that has to come from deep within. But as for the tools that we can give young people is knowledge and information, you see, because what I've realized is that a lot of people are not aware of the magnitude of the problem. That is why it's easy to just throw in answers that or just comments in as if you know practically they are possible to curb gender-based violence or violence in general in our society. You need to start understanding the depth of the problem. You need to start understanding what has been tried in other countries. I'd make, for an example, death penalty. You know, some people would say, let's kill the rapists, or let's kill people who beat up women, castrate them. But there's been, you know, research that has been conducted worldwide to say that these are not deterrents. You know, you can hang them, do whatever, but you are still not solving the problem. You need to look into the rehabilitation programs that we have in. So in this space that we are in, one of the main tools that we need to provide people with is knowledge and information. People need to know what is happening out there, and also we need to as part of information as well, we need to come up with new ways to re-socialize, especially boys, because we find ourselves where we are today as a country. You know, there's the system of patriarchy that places you and I as males or as men at the top of the social hierarchy, and it puts women at the bottom. There's the same system that teaches us to be, or boy children to be aggressive, and girl children to be, girl children to be submissive while we are aggressive. You know, you look at it. I always say when I speak that the issues of gender relations are almost parallel to the issues of race relations. Like me and my female counterpart can do, you know, equal work with the same qualifications, same experience, but I'm likely to earn more than her because she's female and I'm male, or she's a woman. Similar to me and my white counterpart, you know, they're likely to earn more, even though we've got more same experience, same qualification, and same workload. He's likely to get more because of the color of their skin. And we need to start understanding those privileges that come with being born men or with being born male. And that is the education that I'm talking about. That is the information that is needed in order for young people to start delving into the activism space. Because, we get people who become activists, but they get channels and platforms to spread information that is incorrect. And it's increasing the problem.
And it's not in a healthy way. Now, the hashtag Not In My Name movement, I know focuses on a lot of social issues. Now, like, as we are now dealing with the GBV, like, how do you guys choose the issues that you push and the issues that you get vocal with?
Yeah. So as you rightfully said, we deal with a number of issues, but one of our main programs has been around gender-based violence, because when we started the organization, it was around gender-based violence. How do we choose them? To be honest with you, so right now, we've got small branches throughout the country where we encourage the communities among the people in the communities to take up issues as they come up in their communities. But on issues that are at the national level, my office deals directly with those cases. The reason why we do that, and people will always say to us, we're only taking up cases of famous people or prominent people, and we do that deliberately because those are cases in the public eye. It's also a part of a mobilization tool, because there's someone in rural KZN or rural Eastern Cape or in the Northwest who's probably sitting at home listening to the radio or watching television. They know that if I lay a hand on a woman, it's an offense, it's wrong, I don't need to do it. I don't need to lay a hand on anyone for that matter. That is how we get to choose our cases. But we've been involved from grassroots level. All the cases we don't have a specific cases to say, no, we don't take this one. But obviously, there's a certain number of requirements that one needs to meet. For an example, before we can take up your case, we'd ask you, are you, as a victim, are you comfortable with opening a case? Right? If not, then we cannot take it further. The only thing we can do is just to link you up with support, whether it's psychosocial services, whether it's
counseling.
It's counseling. But we cannot take it further because it also puts us at risk. We cannot come out and say, yeah, so and so, so and so, and then this one did not even that. We can get arrested by doing that. But the cases that we deal with are cases of gender-based violence, whether it's men beating women or women beating men, or any other members of the society, our LGBTIQ plus community. We've taken up cases in that regard because we believe that we are all human at the end of the day. So we don't have a scarcity when it comes to cases. What we can, but obviously as an organization we are limited for a number of reasons, resources,
Yeah, and I love the fact that the movement has now gone beyond boundaries, beyond the borders, I mean. And how has that been since you've gone international now?
It's been very fascinating and challenging at the same time. And it's challenging because, one, when we had the idea to open up our membership and participation to the international community, we were, suddenly faced with a global pandemic, which has opened other opportunities as well, because now we've become an online community. You see, so that is a good platform to mobilize, but at the same time we've not been able to travel and because at Not In My Name we believe in activism, going to the grounds, going to and community halls and being out there. We believe that there's life outside social media. There's still people who don't have access to all these discussions that we are having on Twitter and Facebooks and your WhatsApps and whatever. Those are the people that we need to reach. So it's been difficult in that sense, but also it's fascinating because remember, and I always say this to people, that I did not coin the tag Not In My Name. It started in the Middle East, but I felt that it resonated with what we wanted to do here.
What's happening in our country.
Exactly. Say that not in my name will I sit by the sidelines, and watch as a spectator when such things are happening in the country. But what we have done now with being Not In My Name International, we've invited and secured the participation of young people from countries such as Zimbabwe, Mozambique, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Sierra Leone, I've also got a friend of mine who are in the UK who have shown interest, and that is what we want. I mean, we're still a very small organization, and I do not take lightly the fact that we've grown in leaps and bounds over the past 3.5 years. But I still feel that there's still a room for growth. But the fact that we are now international, as I said, it is fascinating, but it is very challenging.
It resembles that the work is being put in.
Exactly.
And now, Siya, you are a very skilled person. You have skills such as civil leadership, public speaking, and writing. Now, for a young person who wants to be skilled in these areas, what would your advice be to them?
Yeah, and again, it's about information, but also identifying your strengths and your weaknesses, and the willingness to learn and to unlearn. When I started the Not in My Name movement, I had to reskill myself. I was that guy with my glasses in the corner office, doing designs, drawings, and this and that, doing engineering presentations. But I had to, go into a whole lot of different space,
up more and all that.
Try and reskill myself. But I've always had a passion for public speaking and writing. I'm contributing to the United Nations Association magazine, which is a magazine for diplomats in Geneva, New York, London, and other countries. I've also published a book last year, and I also sometimes contribute to some online publications in the country. When it comes to speaking, it's something that I've done since high school. I was a debater, and then even when I went to university, I was in the Student Christian Organization. I was also speaking there, and I've got a number of clients that are like the city of eThekwini, University of Johannesburg, Rhodes University, GIZ, and others. And when it comes to civic leadership, again, it's about passion. It's about what is it that you love doing? What is it that makes you come alive? Unfortunately, I've been fortunate enough to be accepted to some of the most amazing programs in the world, such as the Obama Foundation, which is a leadership program. I went through it for a year. I'm now graduated and certified as a an Obama Foundation leader. So that's from that angle where my civic leadership comes from. But most importantly, civic leadership for me, it's about doing the actual groundwork. It's about saying that we need this and that. For an example, December, January, my team and I delivered over 150,000 liters of clean drinking water to the community of Hammanskraal, something that has not been done in a way that we've done it. We partnered with Radio 702. We mobilized ordinary South Africans to give 5 liters. It was so nice because it was a groundswell program. You had ordinary South Africans saying, I want to contribute my 5 liters of water to take them to Hammanskraal. So for me, that is civic leadership, is to identify a need or a problem in the community and say that I'm going to close that gap. It's not about us being on TV and speaking proper English or being on magazines or no. It's about doing the actual work, and that is what for me civic leadership means, and that is how I had to reskill myself and learn all these things. You're speaking, you're writing, and leading as well.
All right, shout out to you for all those achievements. Now, see, what I resonated with going through the organization itself is that you guys are firm believers in solutions of a society that whatever solutions or whatever problems the society is going through, the solutions of that problem have to come within the people of that community. Now, looking at South Africa as a whole, we are a community that's going through an issue of gender-based violence. What I wanted to know from you is what do you think we can do sisonke as South Africans to overcome the scourge of gender-based violence?
I think what we need to do as a collective, especially men, first of all, is to admit that there's a problem. And part of the reason why South Africa is where it is today, and I'm talking social injustices that have, that we've inherited from the past, is that another group of people that has been in the wrong since time immemorial has not admitted that we have wronged you, as the other group, which is the majority. So I think where we need to start as a country, it is not us rehabilitating each other or us going to conferences and designing programs. What we need to start with, as the men in particular, is to admit that we are on the wrong. We abuse women, we do this and this, we kill women. Women don't rape themselves, it's us who do these things. And I don't want to start talking about men also get raped. Yes, they do, but looking at this statistically, it's shown that we are a majority, the perpetrators.
Yeah, the dominant ones.
But part of the conversation need all of us to, as a country or as a nation, to to have a deep conversation within ourselves and say that we're in a problem, but what is it that we can do as a collective? And that is what I mean to say that we need to first agree that we have the problem, and as men we need to admit that we are part of the problem, and then from there we'll start then designing programs that are rehabilitative. We'll start having a nationwide conversation that will influence and inspire healing, that will open up dialogues among men and women, among men and members of the LGBTIQ plus community, and but also what we need to start doing as a matter of yesterday, we need to start socializing our boys differently. We need to teach young boys that, one, it's okay to cry. It doesn't make you a sissy. Doesn't make you whatever words are out there. Just to mention quickly, I saw a video yesterday, I think it was somewhere in Mpumalanga, a young boy about 6-7 years, he was saying, and adults are recording him, and they're laughing, saying, I need a gun in Pretoria, mentions the girl's name because uhlala cheated. And that tells you that already, if that is the mindset that this boy has at that age, that speaks to the social fiber of our society. That says we have a long way to go. So part of, and the most important intervention that we need to do, and this is important because it starts in our households. It's got nothing to do with government. It starts in our houses, in our churches, in our social gathering spaces. When we say to our children, this is wrong, this is right. So when we then socialize boys positively, we are avoiding what? Because at that age they are potential perpetrators. Every man is a potential perpetrator. But then if we deal with them at a young age, we are definitely going to get somewhere with this thing. But now if we only try to rehabilitate old men, who some of them, by the way, can never be rehabilitated, unfortunately. That's why you need the criminal justice system to play its part. Throw them away for a very long time. But those who are willing to be rehabilitated, they need to be rehabilitated. So we need to, as much as we design programs around rehabilitation, we also need to re-socialize boys. And I think if we do it that way, everyone must come into play. Religious leaders, government, everyone, even ordinary citizens like you and me. We need to come out and say, this is wrong, this is right, and this is what will move South Africa forward.
I hear you, and I thank you for those inputs, Sia. Now, for people who want to interact with you out in these social media streets, where can they find you?
I'm Siyabulela Jentile all over. I'm not good with these things, so I participate on Twitter. I think I recently got back to Twitter. I cancelled that thing at Siya_Gentile, I think, yes. But Facebook and Instagram, I'm Siyabulela Jentile. Otherwise, you can connect with me through the Not In My Name International organization. That's where you can just inbox them, then they'll direct you to me. But I'm always happy to connect whichever way possible. I'm always happy to connect.
Thanks again for gracing us with your presence in this Purple Couch. Nani Nyazi, Love Life has always had your interest at heart, and we want you guys to keep on sending us your Word on the Streets segments according to the topics we are having on the show. So sebenzisa hashtag and get involved, Muntu Musha. Y'all know it's 365 days of activism, right? Yes, not 16, but 365, because why should we focus on preventing violence against women and children for only 16 days? So let's check out this month's first Word on the Streets. Our groundbreaker is on the ground breaking these news. See what I did there?
Good day. My name is Lauren Lida Quaker. I'm a grade 7 learner at Ibania Primary School and also the head girl. I'm going to make a contribution towards gender-based violence and promote it at school and distribute booklets.
The first thing I could do as a young person is raise awareness for this program, is to spread it on my social media, on my Instagram statuses, and WhatsApp statuses, just to give this initiative some momentum so that more young people know about it.
As a young black woman, I have been and will continue to educate myself on the culture and perceptions surrounding gender-based violence in South Africa. Why I think this is important is because culturally, we as black women have been taught to ukubekezela, which in simple terms means to endure or fight through whatever abuse you may be experiencing, because that is what strong women do. In turn, I believe that this will create safe spaces for the women around me, allowing them to openly speak up about any experiences they've had with gender-based violence, knowing that they'll be fully supported and not shunned for wanting to take action against it.
Asibonge lapho kuwe groundbreaker lasekhaya. From one interview that aims to bring change in behavior to another interview that aims to use sports as a rehabilitation for former GBV perpetrators. Do you know anybody that uses sports to rehabilitate themselves? It's important we look at available structures to help those that have been perpetrators. Okwamanje, my next guest is one of the most hardworking and dedicated professional boxers to come out of SA. He has trained the likes of Upoiti and Ukoni Ferguson. He was at the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture biggest youth event, the SA Schools Sports Championships in 2019, motivating young SA sports stars. Help me welcome Uxolisani Nomeva Ndongeni. Nomeva Putwam, Makenkamgela up in the Purple Couch. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you, Putwam, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, now Putwam, man, with the first question. So, like, there's a whole stigma that surrounds boxing and the negative connotation about that. What can you tell us about that?
Nice. Okay, boxing is a sport that has been around for a very long time, and we all believe that boxing had blessed South Africa with so many world champions, with the likes of Baby Jakes Matlala, Tingantobela, Brian Michelle, welcome and Granny Bongos of South Africa. They were world champions, and boxing was popular at the time. And people would vote boxing as soon as 2 o'clock in the morning, because those fights were mostly in America, most of them. And even when boxing was here in South Africa, it was out for anyone to see, everyone to know. But now, because boxing has lost a lot of coverage and every sponsorships that we used to be part of it, that is why it looks like it faded, and we are rated top in the world. South Africa is one of the skillful countries in terms of boxing. I went to America, stayed there, and I believe I can assure you that compared to all the countries that are boxing, we are the most skillful country in boxing in South Africa. As much as we don't have everything, facilities, and obviously whatever they have in America, because America now, we take it as the heart of boxing because everything is there. All the monies are there. It's only because of the support that they get from their own people. Should we get the same support and obviously the sponsorships and the backing from everyone in South Africa, boxing can be back and alive. For you guys to see, for everyone to see, and you can also be proud of us at the same time, because we are way better than other countries, and we're doing good, and we're boxing much better than so many countries. So should we get the support, should we get the backing from our people, and we know that every time when we get and step in the ring, we have all the backing from all of you guys and everyone. It will be easy for us boxers to fight, and it will be easy for you guys to be proud of us, and it will be easy for us to win the fight, because if we have people that are trusting on us, we can do everything. So the stigma that is around boxing now, it's only because of those situations of not being covered, not being aired, of our fights and everything, because now people, they don't even know when are we fighting, where are we fighting, who is the world champion. I'm a 2-time world champion, but not everyone knows that. We have Morotim Talana, who is a world champion today. Not everyone knows that. We have a WBC champion in South Africa, but no one knows about it. We have Zorani Tete, who was in the Super 4 of the world, but no one knows about that. So as soon as we get back the coverage and we get the sponsors coming back to boxing, boxing will be back and will be live, and people will actually know who's who, what is happening about boxing.
Intently leyo asithemba ukuba isupport niza kuyifumana. Now Putam, uqale ukubetha inqindi una 17 and you turned pro after 29 fights. So at which age did you really decide ukuba boxing is going to be my future career?
I started boxing at the age of 17, and the reason why I started boxing is because of, obviously, I like fighting, and we all know that every location, township or village, when you grow up, you're gonna see a ball first. Everyone is gonna play soccer. I did that also, just like anybody else. And when I was like 16, 15, I saw that I don't want to be in this place. I don't want to do soccer like everyone else. I liked physical, I like conduct. I wanted to do something that's gonna put me in action. I started playing rugby. So my first love was rugby. I played rugby until I was 17, and then I started joining boxing because I had a cousin who was a boxing champion, and luckily I grew up with him and I knew exactly how we used to fight before he was a champion. So like, if he can be a champion in boxing, then I can also be a champion. So I started like that. I started fighting as an amateur. It's not easy, but it was a very good experience. Obviously, that prepared me to be a professional boxer. So after 29 fights, and I was 19 years, I turned pro when I was 20.
And then, now in 2016, let's take it back to 2016, where you were the boxer of the year and you even went on to go win the WBF title. Like, how was the journey in towards like getting those accolades? Support the family, the mentors. How was everything in order for you to get where you got?
Yeah, I had a great team behind me, and obviously, because I didn't have a long time in boxing, I was still like fresh. I was still active and looking forward to every training session every day. I am still now, yeah, but I'm a bit old now. So, yeah. It was a great thing. It was nice. Boxing was happening, and I was getting fight action and everything. So luckily, I was winning all of my fights. I started lose 2019 in America to a boy who's now a WBC champion, which is it was a good loss for me because I lost to a world champion. I was fighting for a world title in America, in another country, which is that was big. It was a big fight for me. I happened to lose on points, so I was just winning every fight. I went to America more than 5 times, fighting in there, winning, coming back, which is good. And then obviously I deserved to be the South African boxer of the year that time because I was active, I was fighting, and my family was very supportive. They would go every time when I go to the airport going to America, they would take me there and they would come and like take me when I come back from the airport. It was nice. They were supporting me all the way. The team that I was training with, they were always there. I even went to stay in America for like a year just to train. So I had support from my sponsors throughout till today. So it's a great thing to have something, or to have someone or people that believe in you, because obviously you know you are not alone. And even if you're fighting, you are fighting in peace, because boxing is a crucial sport and it's a very difficult and dangerous sport. You cannot just go there and there is no one standing by your side. So as soon as I know and believe that there are people that are looking up to me, it's easy for me to fight.
Nomeva, as you know, each show here too is focusing on gender-based violence. For a person who's going through a tough time out there, who can't let go of the tendencies of always abusing women or children or any other people, ungabanceda njani ukuba baziyeke ezo ndlela ezo and become better people through a sport okanye through yona boxing?
Okay, cool. as you all know that boxing, it's a fighting sport. But when you inside boxing, we're not fighting, we are boxing. So it's a skill. So people that are in a space or in a situation where they are in a situation where they feel like they're already in this gender-based violence situation of trying to abuse partners and hit partners or either your family or anything, because I believe that gender-based violence is a very sensitive thing. It happens to different people, obviously, in different ways, and we don't even know, obviously, exactly what is it that is causing it, because people are reacting different in so many different things. So there are people that are aggressive. Then when you come to boxing, obviously you want to fight, and and obviously in boxing, the reason why it's good for people who have a problem with this gender-based violence in terms of maybe trying to, they just want to fight. When you come to boxing, yes, we're gonna give you a fight, but in a better way. So it is good for them to come to boxing and train and fight, but for the better. And obviously in a monitored way of how you fight, and this is what not to do, this is what to do. So what I do most of the time, I have a young team that I'm training of kids. Obviously, I'm training them to just take them away from even trying to be in a position of ending up using drugs, abusing alcohol, and obviously crime, because that is one of the biggest causes of gender-based violence. Because once people get drunk, people use drugs, people are in a situation where they need money or anything, they end up trying to take from other people, trying to hit other people because of whatever they need. So when we take them from away from the street to any sporting court, we are obviously reducing gender-based violence cases, because those young people or those young kids will early learn that you need to respect other people, because sport will teach you respect. You need to respect everyone around you, and you need to respect time as well. You need to respect yourself.
Yeah, it's a good thing, and shout out to you for the work that you are doing for your community. And now let's bring it back to the youngsters that look up to you, like that always come up to you and ask for career advice and ask for how to start their boxing. What do you say to them? How do you give them the feedback?
Yeah, I always get those guys wanting to be a boxer, be getting inspired by how I do my boxing, how I'm a champion and everything. I am a 7-time champion, 2 times world champion, 2 times African champion, and obviously 3 times international champion. So I've been around and I've been winning a lot. And what I always tell them that is boxing is not easy, and like everything is not easy. I started from the humble beginnings. I'm from Eastern London, and I used to box like in a very difficult situation. Obviously, I started my boxing in a very challenging background, where you go to an old school boxing gym. You know, there is nothing, there is no fancy boxing ring like we have now. There is no even like treadmill or anything. So they need to understand that everything you need to we're able to ukwazi unyamezela and make sure that you learn as much as you can and don't underestimate anything that is in front of you, because we learn everything every time, you know, in anything that we come around. So they need to obviously be disciplined, and they need to be willing to learn, because a coach can stand in front of you and teach you whatever he knows, but if you are not willing to learn, it is still like a waste of time. So I always advise them to make sure that if you want boxing, especially boxing, you need to want it, you need to be the one wanting to box, not because you see someone else box. It's not easy. Boxing is not easy. Once you get a punch, it changes every mood, anything around you, and it changes the mood. So if you are not ready and willing to learn, once you get the punch, you can turn to other person. You can turn to something else, to a monster. But if you are disciplined, and if you are willing to learn, and if you really want to box, you can learn in those situations, and you can come out as a better person. So to people that are inspired by Nomeva and want to box, and or by any other boxer and want to box, it's just that you need to understand where you are. You need to grow gradually. Don't expect to just jump and go to where Nomeva is. It's business. Boxing is now business. You're gonna have to start somewhere. You're gonna have to learn, at least get the experience of whatever you need, and then come to wherever we are. And then you need to be able to take everything that someone is teaching you and that you believe it's right, and use it for your best.
Yeah. And as Tembe uba nimamele nyamuvu champ ya ring akuthi gotta be disciplined at all times. Now, Putwam Nomeva, where can people find you in these social media streets?
I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, I'm not too much, but I have a Twitter account. But on Instagram, I'm Tolisani Nomeva. And Facebook, I am Nomeva Ndongeni. Yeah. But my name is Tolisani Ndongeni. Whatever that has to do with Tolisani Ndongeni Nomeva, that's me. Yeah. So Instagram is Tolisani Nomeva.
Nomeva Putwami, enkosi for gracing us with your presence. Perhaps the next time you might even teach the whole team how to draw a few jabs.
One day.
Yeah. Now, life is, it's gotta be the confidence that does it for me on how opinionated you are. It's off the word on the street.
Good afternoon, team. I'm Samke Lepuya from Western Cape Sport groundBREAKER. I'll be asking Slade a question. Where should you get condoms easily that you can access them easily?
My name is Onesimo. We should get the condom. We should get to the church, shops, Masomalieni, Nase clinic.
I think they should be placed at the schools because that's where they start teaching us about sex. So that's where they have to give us and teach us about how to use them.
Okay, at schools. Which places maybe?
Oh, which places? I think in the classrooms, yes, in the classrooms, because that's where we get easy access. And then offices, because we can't get enough access. So in classes, I guess that's where, according to me.
I think we should put them at fast food places, like, example, here in Orange Farm, there's things called Amagod. So that's the best place I see for placing condoms for you, without the responsibility, which will be like clinics here and there, basically.
So good thing, so it means that you're going out with a person, baby God, that was on top of me, everything is fixed.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Thank you guys and have a lovely day.
Remember to let us in on your thoughts or in the comment sections or Twitter. It's hashtag the purple couch over there. Which contraceptive methods are you into? Talking about contraceptive methods, my fellow health groundbreaker Umpo is actually here with me in the couch. Mpo, fede kanjani?
Grantwana.
Ngimnandi uthi ngiphatheleni mfana.
Ngiphathela ama contraceptives okhuluma ngawo.
Bangene ntwana yami ubatshele khambayi.
Okay, hi guys. Like Usandile Sekashilo, my name is Mpoma Lindi. I am based at LXHC. I deal in AYFS, of which is Adolescents and Youth Friendly Services. When I'm talking about Adolescents and Youth Friendly Services, I mean each and every one, or you youth, or from 12 to 23 years, whenever I need a service, uzagiti ama groundbreaker, and then sizom referrer for that service. One of Leo service Leo ama contraceptives. For ama contraceptives, bayeza, noma bangati una how many years, which is between Leo age gap Leo. Uyeza githi masofila ngathi so ready ukuthi ube sexual active ngizokubonisa ama contraceptives esibona ngathi azoba suitable for wena for Implanon, i-IUD, amapilisi, injection eya 3 months neya 2 months ne morning after pill. Morning after pill eyokugcina ningayisebenzisi because niyayi-misuser. So advisor abantwana besikolo in most cases ukuthi basebenzise le eye long term, eya 3 years and 5 years. Eya 3 years implanon. You take uyifaka like same time uyawubook uyeza uyayifaka, and then mase ngakuphathi kahle uyayenza i-follow up. If maybe ikisema periodini esikhathi eside bazokunika amapilisi, if akubi nama changes bayayikhipha and then bakureferele to enye i-contraceptive method, because kumele ma umntwana esikole o sexual active uhlale on ama-contraceptives ukuthi si-reduce lento le teenage pregnancy, because most of youth iyeza izobhukha e-clinic. Another contraceptive method long term right engana ama-hormones engahluphi, you just feel i-discomfort mabaceda ukuyifaka, is i-IUD. Abantu abaningi bayazi njenge-loop. Leyo uyayifaka, ayina ama-hormones, ayina nex, ayina ama-side effects, uzofila nje i-discomfort same time mawuceda ukuyifaka. After that uzomane uyenza check-up randomly, maybe after 2 years, after 3 years, ukuthi ubone ukuthi sesendaweni right, and then after 5 years uyayikhipha. If ufuna ukuyibuyisela ungayibuyisela, if not maybe ungasebenzisa injection for that time until ubona enye i-method ezobe i-right for wena. Another thing advisor i-youth ukuthi isebenzise nama-condom, ungasebenzisi la ama-contraceptives kuphela, usebenzise zoyi-2 whatever contraceptives okuwo, and then uphinde usebenzise ne-condom, because ama-injection nanani as prevent i-STI, it only prevents pregnancy. So if you need more information, you can send a please call to a Love Life 083 323 1023. Thank you.
Mpoza, thank you for that information, Panayami. Asithembe da emakhaya nizoyisebenzisa that useful information. From us, danke please. Abuse is not only physically. You can abuse someone emotionally and verbally. There is no abuse big or small, less important or most important, less serious or most serious, because all abuse is wrong and must stop. Those are the words of the philosopher DJ Kaios. We had a thought-provoking show. If you want to see similar content, search for our very first show where we had Uzikona Sodlaga, where we were also discussing issues of gender-based violence. Do the things get on social media. Remember, continue the conversation. It's #ThePurpleCouch on all social media platforms. The National Department of Health and the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture have always been behind us young people, supporting our ideas and movements. We thank them for that. Our guests, the groundBREAKER, Nomeva Ndongeni, and Siyabulela Jentile, keep on inspiring us with your courageous work, and thank you for gracing us with your presence in the Purple Couch. I'll give you 2 seconds to click that subscribe button over there and comment with a young high five emoji. Remember, Love Life is always here for you. Send a please call to 083 323 1023 or slide into our DMs. Till episode 7, my name is Siyabulela Jentile. Danke please.